Soft rain taps against the window. The gray sky casts shadows across a small, cozy living room. An older woman sits alone in an armchair, her fingers tracing the rim of a warm mug. Her eyes stare into the distance. Distant and heavy with unspoken thoughts. Narration first person, reflective, tense. He told me I was nothing without him, just a shadow of what I could be. Every effort I made, every dream I dared to chase, he dismissed it. He made me feel small, invisible, and for a long time, I believed him. Cut to a slow zoom on her face, a tear sliding down her cheek. The sound of the rain grows louder, mirroring the storm building inside her. I remember the exact words, spoken like a verdict. "You're nothing without me." It was the kind of line that sticks in your chest, the kind that makes you question every choice you've ever made. Flash to a quick montage of moments. Her preparing breakfast while he complains. Her handing over business files while he rolls his eyes. Small acts of dismissal piling up. But that day, the day everything changed, I realized he had underestimated me. I realized that the woman he tried to belittle, the one he thought could be broken, was stronger than he could ever imagine. She sets down the mug, rises from the chair, and looks out the rain-streaked window. A faint glimmer of determination lights her eyes, and what he didn't know was that it would take just one day for me to prove him wrong. One day to show him, and the world, exactly who I truly am. Dramatic pause. Camera slowly pans out, rain blurring the glass as thunder rumbles faintly. Narration, final line. Whispering yet firm. He thought I was nothing, but that day, I became everything. Screen fades to black, leaving viewers with suspense and a sense of impending empowerment. Cue soft but intense music swell, fade in from black. Morning sunlight filters through the curtains of a modest Washington home. The same woman, younger now, is bustling in a small kitchen. She hums softly, but her movements are tired yet purposeful. She flips pancakes, packs lunches, and simultaneously checks a stack of invoices on the counter. Narration, first person, reflective, soft. I wasn't always the woman you see now, the one who could stand tall and take control. I was once just a girl with dreams bigger than my circumstances, trying to make sense of a world that often seemed unfair. Cut to a flashback, a teenage version of her, working part-time at a diner, smiling politely at demanding customers while stuffing books in her bag. I grew up in Washington, in a small town where everyone knew everyone's business. My family, they were hardworking, but struggling. I learned early that life doesn't hand you anything for free. Every dollar, every opportunity, I had to fight for it. Transition to her meeting her partner, a charming man, confident, ambitious. He laughs at her ideas, brushes them aside, yet she feels drawn to his energy. When I met him, I thought I had found someone who would share my dreams, someone who could see me, really see me. But love, real love, I would learn, isn't always about seeing. Sometimes, it's about surviving together, even when one person dims your light. Montage. She helps him with paperwork late into the night, stays up while he sleeps, sacrifices her own plans for his career. She smiles, tired but committed. I gave everything, my time, my energy, my hopes. I worked tirelessly in his business, poured myself into our life, and yet, he never said thank you. Instead, the small dismissals grew into words that cut deeper than knives. Cut to a quiet moment, her sitting on the porch after a long day, staring at the fading sunset, whispering to herself, "You're nothing without me." Those words, they haunted me. I began to doubt myself, even as I worked harder than ever to keep us afloat. I was quiet, resilient, but every ignored effort and every belittling comment chipped away at me. Little by little, close up on her hands, roughened from work, a symbol of sacrifice. But even in the darkest moments, I never stopped dreaming. I kept that spark alive, hidden beneath the weight of expectations and disappointments. I imagined a day when I could show the world, and him, that I was more than he could ever imagine. Cut to a montage of her juggling multiple roles, helping a sick neighbor, managing bills, cooking for family, handling business calls. Each action highlights her dedication and quiet strength. I learned to survive, to endure, to bend without breaking. And through it all, I learned that strength isn't always loud. Sometimes, it's silent. Sometimes, it's the woman who shows up every day. No matter how heavy the weight on her shoulders, the scene fades into a still image of her older self, sitting by the rain-streaked window, the storm outside mirroring years of struggle and quiet resilience. The camera lingers, letting the audience feel her journey. Narration closing line of section. All those years of sacrifice, of sleepless nights and ignored dreams, they weren't for nothing. They were preparing me for the one day I would finally rise and show him that he had been wrong all along. Scene opens in a softly lit office. Papers are scattered across a desk. A laptop hums quietly. The woman sits across from her partner, a tense smile frozen on his face. The air feels heavy, almost suffocating. Narration, first person, reflective, tense. At first it was subtle, almost invisible. A sigh when I suggested a new idea, a rolled eye when I shared a thought, little dismissals that I told myself didn't matter. But they did, every single one of them. Cut to flashbacks. She proposes a marketing idea. He laughs, saying, "You don't understand business like I do." Another moment, she presents a budget plan. He shrugs, claiming, "I'll handle it. Don't worry your pretty little head." Inner thought soft whispered to herself, "Am I really nothing without him?" Her hands tremble slightly as she hides a pang of hurt. She forces a smile. And then, the words started to sting, more than I wanted them to. Comments that weren't just dismissive, but sharp, cutting. "You couldn't do anything without me. If it weren't for me, you'd be lost." Montage of moments where he takes credit for her work. A client praises her project, and he interrupts, smiling, claiming responsibility. At home, he belittles her cooking, her efforts, her very presence. I tried to convince myself it didn't matter, that it was just his way, but inside, it was breaking me. Every day, a little more. Every comment, a little more doubt. Cut to a quiet evening. She sits alone, staring at family photos, the glow of a single lamp illuminating her face. Her eyes are red from holding back tears. I began to notice a pattern, selfishness disguised as authority, control disguised as guidance, and the more I gave, the more he took. It was a quiet erosion of my confidence, a slow theft of myself. I was caught in the storm of someone else's arrogance. Dramatic close-up. She clenches her fists on the table, determination sparking in her eyes. But even as the cracks widened, even as the doubt gnawed at me, a small voice whispered, a voice I couldn't ignore. One day, I will show him. One day, he'll see who I truly am. Camera pans to the window. Rain begins to fall lightly outside, foreshadowing the gathering storm of conflict. The music swells softly, hinting at tension and anticipation. Narration closing line of section. Tense and suspenseful. The first cracks were small, almost ignorant, but they were there. And little did he know, they would lead to a day he would never forget. Scene opens in a dimly lit home office. Papers are strewn across the desk, a laptop left open, and the hum of the heater fills the quiet room. The woman walks in, sensing something is off. Her eyes scan the desk and then she sees it, a folder labeled in his handwriting, something she wasn't meant to find. Narration, first person, tense, emotional. That day started like any other, but by the time it ended, nothing would ever be the same. I wasn't prepared for what I would find, and yet, somehow, part of me had been expecting it all along. Close up on her hands, trembling as she opens the folder. Inside are documents showing financial manipulation plans to claim credit for her hard work, to take control of investments she had nurtured for years. Her stomach twists. My heart pounded in my chest. Each page I turned felt like a betrayal carved into my very soul. I had trusted him. I had poured my life into this partnership, and he had been plotting behind my back. Flashback montage. Late nights she spent preparing reports, meetings where she gave presentations, all contrasted with him quietly redirecting praise to himself. The sense of injustice grows with each memory. Inner thought, angry, whispered, "How dare he? After everything I've done." Her face tightens with controlled fury. She closes the folder, sets it down, and paces the room. The camera follows her, capturing the tension, the rising storm inside her. It was more than betrayal. It was a wake-up call. All the dismissals, all the belittling, all the subtle attacks, they weren't just careless words. They were part of a plan to make me feel small, powerless, invisible. Cut to a dramatic shot. She looks at herself in the mirror. Rain streaked outside, casting shadows across her face. But in that moment, I realized something crucial. I had been wrong to doubt myself. I had been wrong to think I was powerless. And I knew, right then, that the woman he tried to break was stronger than he ever imagined. Montage. She gathers her papers, sits down at her laptop, begins calculating, planning. A faint smile appears as determination replaces shock. The music swells with a sense of rising momentum. Narration reflective but fiery. I allowed myself just a moment to feel the hurt, to acknowledge the betrayal, and then I stood up, shoulders straight, heart pounding, and I said to myself, enough, no more. Today, I take back what is mine. Today, he will see. Camera pans to the window, the rain intensifying, lightning flashes, illuminating her determined face. The scene cuts on the resolve in her eyes, leaving the audience with suspense and anticipation. Narration closing line of section, suspenseful. He thought he had the upper hand. He thought I would crumble, but he had no idea. The storm he had unleashed was only beginning. Scene opens in the early morning, soft light spilling into the kitchen. The woman sits at the table with her laptop open, documents neatly organized around her. Outside, the first drops of rain patter against the window, a quiet rhythm of anticipation. Narration, first person, determined, tense. That morning, everything changed. The hurt was still there, simmering beneath the surface, but it no longer held me back. Today was the day I would take control. Today, he would see me for who I truly am. Close up, her fingers fly across the keyboard, opening accounts, making calls, arranging meetings. Every movement, precise, calculated. She pauses, takes a deep breath, and mutters to herself. Inner thought, quiet, confident, no hesitation, no fear. Just action. I've prepared for this moment my entire life. Montage. She contacts lawyers, confirms documents that prove her ownership and contributions, schedules a crucial meeting with business partners. Her confidence grows with each step. I reviewed every detail, every document, every loophole he had tried to exploit. I anticipated his arguments, his arrogance, his overconfidence. I knew he would never expect me to fight back. Not like this. Not in one day. Flashback snippets, her quietly learning negotiation tactics, late nights reading legal documents, sharpening her skills. The audience sees the years of quiet preparation now coming to fruition. Scene shifts. She dresses sharply, her posture strong, eyes fierce. She picks up a briefcase and steps outside into the rain. The droplets glisten on her coat as she walks with purpose. Narration building suspense. Every step I took that morning was deliberate, every move calculated. I wasn't just reclaiming what was mine, I was proving a point, not just to him, but to myself. I could be seen, I could be heard, I could stand tall. Cut to her entering a boardroom filled with colleagues and clients. He is there, unsuspecting, smug, confident. She walks in, head held high, and the room goes silent. His eyes widened the moment I entered. That smug confidence he carried, it faltered the instant he saw me ready. The same woman he dismissed, the same woman he thought was powerless, was about to rewrite everything. Dramatic close-up. She lays out her evidence, presents her findings, demonstrates her competence and authority. The tension in the room is palpable. The audience can feel his disbelief growing. Narration closing line of section, suspenseful and anticipatory. He thought one day could never change anything. He thought I would remain small, but he didn't know that today everything would change. Camera pans to her face, calm yet resolute, as the room absorbs the shock. Music swells, signaling the approaching climax. Scene opens in the boardroom. The room is silent, heavy with tension. The woman stands at the head of the table, documents and reports laid out before her. Her partner, confident moments ago, now shifts uncomfortably in his seat. The soft hum of a projector highlights the gravity of the moment. Narration first person, confident, dramatic. This was it. The moment that had been building for years. Every sleepless night, every ignored effort, every belittling commented, all led to this. He thought he had the upper hand. He thought I was powerless, but he had underestimated me. Once again, close up on his face, disbelief flickers, then panic, as she begins presenting her evidence. I laid out the facts. Every project he had tried to claim as his own, every financial maneuver he thought he had hidden, every decision he had made to undermine me. It was all there, documented, undeniable, and in my hands. Flashback montage, her meticulous preparation, the late nights, the research, the careful strategies. Each moment now pays off in a single, perfect presentation. Dialogue her, firm, composed. You see, all these years, I've been quiet, I've been patient, I've let you take credit, let you speak over me, let you diminish my efforts, but today, that ends. This is the truth, this is reality, and it's time you face it. He sputters, trying to interject, but she cuts him off with calm authority. Dialogue her, unwavering, No interruptions. You wanted me to be nothing without you. Well, today, I am everything. The boardroom collectively reacts, partners nod in shock, clients whisper, and he finally realizes that he cannot argue. The tension crescendos as his facade crumbles. Narration, emotional, triumphant. In that instant, I saw it the moment he understood. That smug confidence, that arrogance, that false sense of control, all shattered. He looked at me, not as the woman he had always underestimated, but as a force he could no longer ignore. Cut 2. A dramatic montage. Contracts signed in her name. Colleagues acknowledging her leadership. Clients expressing trust and admiration. Her power and authority are undeniable. Inner thought, proud, resolute. I did it. I stood up. I reclaimed what was mine. And more importantly, I reclaimed myself. He slumps in his chair, defeated, unable to respond. The camera slowly pans to her face, calm, victorious, radiating strength. The music swells with triumph, highlighting the emotional climax. Narration closing line of section. Powerful and satisfying. He thought he could keep me small. He thought I would crumble. But in just one day, I proved him wrong. And in that moment, I wasn't just victorious, I was free. Scene fades to black, leaving viewers with a sense of justice, empowerment, and emotional catharsis. Scene opens with soft sunlight streaming through large windows. The woman walks through her office, now bustling with activity, her colleagues smiling and acknowledging her presence. There's a sense of calm triumph in the air. Narration, first person, reflective, proud. After the storm, there is calm. After the battle, there is peace. The weight I had carried for years, the doubt, the belittlement, the invisible chains was finally lifted. I had fought, and I had won. Close up, she sits at her desk, reviewing documents, but this time with ease. She smiles, her eyes shining with quiet pride. I didn't just reclaim what was mine. I reclaimed my voice, my confidence, my identity. Every effort I had ever put in, every late night, every sacrifice, it had all led to this moment. And it felt incredible. Flashback snippets, colleagues shaking her hand, clients expressing admiration, her partner leaving the room defeated. These images underscore her hard-earned victory. Inner thought, soft content. I am enough. I have always been enough. And now, I am everything I was meant to be. Scene shifts to her at home. She pours a cup of tea, gazes out at the backyard garden she tended quietly for years. The sunlight warms her face, reflecting both serenity and achievement. The world finally sees me the way I always knew I deserved to be seen. Not as someone small, not as someone dependent, but as someone capable, resilient, and unstoppable. The very woman he thought he could break stands taller than ever. Close up, she sets down the cup, takes a deep breath, and smiles. The camera pans out slowly, showing her surrounded by the fruits of her hard work, both professional and personal. Narration closing line of section. Triumphant and satisfying. He may have underestimated me, but I never underestimated myself, and that made all the difference. I stood tall, I proved my worth, and I finally felt the freedom of being fully seen. Soft music swells. The scene fades with her looking confidently into the distance, a symbol of empowerment and vindication. Scene opens with a serene view of the woman walking through a quiet park. Leaves rustle in the wind, birds chirp softly, and sunlight filters through the trees. Her steps are steady, her posture relaxed yet confident. Narration first person. Reflective.com. When all was said and done, I realized something important. The world may try to define you, to diminish you, to make you feel small, but your strength doesn't come from them. It comes from within. It comes from the courage to stand, even when you've been knocked down countless times. Cut to a montage. Her smiling with family, helping a friend, mentoring a younger colleague, tending to her garden. Each image reinforces her growth and inner strength. I learned that perseverance isn't just about surviving, it's about thriving. It's about taking control of your own story, even when others try to write it for you. And sometimes, it only takes one day, one decisive moment, to change the course of everything. Close up, she sits quietly on a bench, watching the sunset. A soft smile plays on her lips, reflecting peace and satisfaction. Inner thoughts soft, hopeful. I am stronger than I ever knew. I am worthy. I am seen. And the best part, this is only the beginning. Camera slowly pans out, capturing the peaceful landscape, leaving the audience with a sense of closure and inspiration. Narration, closing line of section. heartfelt and motivational. Never let anyone make you feel less than you are. Protect your dreams, fight for your worth, and trust that even the smallest spark within you can ignite the fire that changes your life. Your time to rise will come. Soft music swells, blending into a calm, reflective tone as the scene fades. Scene opens with a slow aerial shot of the city skyline of Washington at dusk. Lights twinkle as the day winds down. The woman stands on a balcony, looking out over the city, calm and confident. Narration first person, inspirational, reflective. My story isn't just about me. It's about anyone who has ever been underestimated, overlooked, or told they weren't enough. It's a reminder that strength isn't always loud. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it's in the way you rise when no one else believes you can. Cut to a montage, her smiling with friends, taking a deep breath in a serene park, and walking confidently down the street. Each shot emphasizes empowerment and resilience. If there's one thing I want you to take from this, it's this. Never let someone else define your worth. Don't wait for permission to shine. Your time, your moment, it's yours. Claim it. She looks directly into the camera, a gentle smile on her face, eyes full of warmth and conviction. Narration closing line. Motivational and tied to the opening. He thought I was nothing, but that day, I became everything. And if I can rise, so can you. Asterisk, fade to black. Soft, uplifting music plays as text appears. Believe in yourself. Stand tall. Your story is just beginning. Optional CTA overlay. Like, comment, and subscribe for more inspiring true stories.